Okay, so have you ever tried to build like a really, really tall block tower? Or maybe like bake a cake and you want it to be super delicious?
Yeah,
So everyone wants a slice.
for sure.
I bet you probably use some measuring to make sure like everything turned out just right.
Yeah, definitely.
So today we are diving into the world of measurement.
I'm excited.
And guess what?
What?
We're using a third-grade science book as our guide.
Oh, cool.
So get ready because we're going to learn about measuring all kinds of cool stuff
I love it.
from like the length of a ladybug
Oh, wow.
to the weight of a giant pumpkin.
That's a big difference.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
So it's amazing how much we use measuring every single day without even like realizing it,
Yeah.
right? Feel about it.
Okay.
How would we know like how much milk to pour in our cereal or
Yeah.
how long to brush our teeth
Right.
if we weren't
Without measuring.
measuring?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Our science book starts with like a really simple question.
Why measure?
That's a good question.
Right.
Why do we measure?
So it shows these two pencils,
Okay.
one short and one long,
All right.
and asks which one is longer.
Well, that seems
It's easy.
pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
We need a way to explain like how much longer or shorter things are. And that's where measuring comes in.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So like,
Like imagine you're buying a brand new pencil case.
right?
You wouldn't want one that's like too small for your pencils, right?
No.
So you need to measure to make sure it's the perfect fit.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
The book also talks about how a tailor
Oh, yeah.
uses measuring
To make clothes.
to make clothes that fit just right.
Oh.
Can you imagine trying on a shirt that's like way too big or too small?
Oh,
It wouldn't be very comfortable.
no, not at all.
Well,
Exactly. And think about when like your parents buy fruits and vegetables
oh yeah.
at the market. They need to measure them.
To make sure they're getting the right amount.
Right, to make sure they're getting like the right amount.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be fair if they paid for a whole kilogram of apples,
Right.
but only got a tiny handful with it.
No, that would not be fair.
No?
Speaking of kilograms, that brings us to like different types of measuring.
Yeah.
Are you ready to explore?
Let's go.
Okay.
We're ready.
Let's start with length.
Okay, length.
I know that we use meters and centimeters and kilometers to measure length,
Right.
but why can't we just use our hands or our feet?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Right.
You see, everyone's hands and feet
Are different sizes.
are different sizes.
Yeah.
If we use them to measure things, would get super confusing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Like, imagine trying to build a tree house with your friends,
Okay.
but like each of you is using a different size hand
Oh, no.
to measure the wood.
That would be a problem.
Your tree house would end up all wonky and wobbly.
Oh, no. A wobbly tree house.
Yeah. Good.
Not a good tree house.
Not fun.
No.
So using meters and centimeters is like
yeah,
having a secret code that everyone understands.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like speaking the same language.
I like that
Yeah.
when it comes to measuring.
When it comes to measuring, now
Wow.
speaking of measuring length,
Yeah.
have you ever used like a ruler or a measuring tape
Yes.
or a meter stick?
I use a ruler in school all the time.
Yeah, those are our handy helpers when it comes to measuring length.
They are
Yeah.
very helpful.
Now, here's a fun fact.
Okay.
Did you know that 10 millimeters
10 millimeters.
make up 1 centimeter?
Wow.
It's like a tiny little line divided into even tinier parts.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And 100 of those centimeters make a whole meter,
Right.
which is about the same height as a first grader.
That's a great way to picture it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Easy to imagine.
Now, if you put 1,000 meters together,
1,000 meters. Whoa.
you get a kilometer, which is long enough to walk for about 15 minutes.
Wow.
So it's perfect for measuring longer distances,
Okay.
like how far you travel on a car trip.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got length covered.
All right, length is done.
What about weight?
Okay, weight.
I know we use grams and kilograms for that, but what exactly is weight?
So weight tells us how heavy something is.
Okay.
Think about picking up a feather
Okay.
and then picking up a rock.
All right. Got it.
The rock feels much heavier, right?
Yeah.
That's because it has more weight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So just like
Oh.
with length, there's different units for measuring weight.
Separate units for weight makes sense.
You got it.
Cool.
We use milligrams for like really, really light things, like
Yeah.
a tiny grain of rice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then we use grams for everyday objects like your pencil case or a juicy apple.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And for heavier things like a big watermelon or a bag of potatoes,
Okay.
we use kilograms.
Kilograms for the heavy stuff.
Yes, exactly.
So many different units
Yeah.
for measuring weight.
There are.
But I noticed a cool pattern.
Oh, what is it?
1,000 milligrams make a gram.
Yes.
And 1,000 grams make a kilogram.
That's right.
It's like those building blocks we were talking about.
That's a fantastic observation.
Right.
It's all about those groups of 1,000.
Yeah.
It makes measuring and converting between units a lot easier.
I like when things are easy.
Me too.
This is so much fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to learn about more ways to measure.
I know there's more.
I know.
We've got more to learn.
So exciting.
Yeah. There's so much more to explore.
I know, right?
Let's move on to volume.
Okay, volume.
Which is all about like how much space something takes up.
Okay.
Especially liquids.
Okay.
Imagine you have 2 glasses of juice.
All right. 2 glasses of juice.
One is a tall, skinny glass.
Okay.
And the other is a short, wide glass.
Mm.
I wonder which glass holds more juice.
Yeah, they look so different.
That's the trick with volume. It's not always about how tall or wide something looks.
Oh, that's tricky?
We need to measure to figure out how much liquid each glass can really hold.
Okay.
And guess what? We use milliliters and liters to measure volume.
Ooh, milliliters and liters.
And I probably see these units all the time.
Yeah.
Like on juice boxes, milk cartons, even bottles of water.
I never realized those numbers were telling me how much liquid was inside.
Exactly.
Wow.
A milliliter is a very small amount.
Okay.
Like a drop of water.
A drop of water.
But if you gather up 1,000 of those tiny drops,
Wow.
you get a whole liter.
A whole liter.
That's about the size of a big bottle of soda.
So a liter is like a giant group hug for 1,000 milliliters.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm curious about temperature.
Okay, temperature.
I know it has something to do with like how hot or cold something is,
Yeah.
but how do we actually measure it?
That's where our friend the thermometer comes in.
A thermometer?
A thermometer is like a detective that helps us figure out the temperature of things.
Oh, cool.
Remember when we talked about having a secret code for measuring?
Yes.
Well, for temperature, we have 2 main codes.
2 codes.
Celsius and Fahrenheit.
Celsius and Fahrenheit? Yeah, I've heard of those.
You have.
But why do we need 2 different codes for temperature?
That's a good question.
It seems a bit confusing.
You're right. It can be a bit tricky.
Yeah.
But think of it like learning a new language. Some countries speak English, while others speak Spanish or French.
Yeah.
They're all ways of communicating.
Right.
Just like Celsius and Fahrenheit are different ways of measuring temperature.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what are some important temperatures that I should know about?
Well, our body temperature is super important.
Or body temperature, yeah.
When we're healthy, our body stays at a cozy temperature of 37 degrees Celsius.
37 degrees Celsius. Wow, it's pretty warm.
It is.
What about other important temperatures?
Do you know what happens to water when it gets really hot?
It starts to boil.
Yeah.
Like when we make pasta.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And guess what temperature water boils at 100 degrees Celsius?
100 degrees Celsius.
Another one of those special temperatures that helps us understand how the world works.
I'm starting to feel like a temperature detective myself.
Yes.
But there's one more type of measuring we need to talk about.
Okay, what is it?
Time.
Time.
How do we measure something that we can't even see or touch?
That's a good question.
Right.
So measuring time is all about tracking how long things take.
Okay.
We use seconds, minutes, and hours to measure shorter amounts of time,
Okay.
like how long it takes to brush our teeth
Yeah.
or read a story. Then we use days, weeks, months, and years to measure longer amounts of time.
Yeah.
Like how long it takes for summer vacation to arrive.
Oh, I wish we could measure how long it takes for summer vacation to arrive.
I know, me too.
And make it come faster. But here's the amazing thing about time.
What's that?
Even though we can't see it,
Yeah,
we can measure it using all sorts of cool tools,
that's right.
like clocks and calendars.
Clocks and calendars, yes.
A clock is like a tiny time machine
It is.
that helps us keep track of the seconds, minutes, and hours ticking by.
That's right.
And a calendar is like a giant map of time
Ooh, I like that. A map of time.
that shows us the days, weeks, and months of the year.
Yeah,
Clocks and calendars are definitely my time measuring buddies.
we are good buddies.
But here's something I've always wondered.
What is it?
Why are there 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour?
Ooh, interesting question.
Why not just use groups of 10,
Yeah,
like we do for meters and liters?
that's a fantastic question.
It always confused me.
You see, way back in ancient times,
Ancient times.
people used different number systems for measuring.
Oh, wow.
They loved the number 60
The number 60.
because it can be divided evenly by lots of other numbers,
Oh.
which made it really handy for calculations.
And guess what?
Yeah.
some of those ancient traditions stuck around,
Oh, wow.
which is why we still use 60 for minutes and seconds.
So we're kind of using ancient math
We are.
every time we look at a clock.
Every time.
Ah, that's mind-blowing.
It is.
And speaking of mind-blowing,
Yeah.
our science book has some extra fun facts about time.
All fun facts. Let's hear them.
Did you know that 10 years make up a decade?
A decade.
100 years make a century.
Well, that's interesting.
And 1,000 years
Wow.
make a whole millennium.
A
A
millennium.
millennium that's like forever.
That's a long time.
Imagine all the amazing things that could happen in 1,000 years.
So many things.
I bet flying cars will be a thing by then.
Yeah. Maybe even teleportation.
Teleportation, wow.
But here's something else to think about.
Okay.
Each second, minute, hour, and day
Yeah.
is a chance to learn, explore, and create something new.
Ooh,
Time is precious, and it's up to us to make the most of it.
that's such a great reminder.
Yeah. I'm going to try to measure every moment and fill it with awesome adventures.
I love that.
Wow, we covered so much ground today.
We did.
It's amazing how much we can learn about measuring just from a third-grade science book.
You know, it's not just about like memorizing facts and figures.
Yeah.
It's about understanding how measuring helps us make sense of the world around us.
That's so true, from building towering block castles to figuring out how much juice fits in our favorite cup.
Yeah,
Measuring is like a superpower that helps us explore and create.
exactly. And the coolest part
I know.
is that we're using measuring all the time, even when we don't realize it.
So it's like we're secret measuring ninjas.
We are.
But before we wrap up our measuring adventure,
Yeah.
I have one final challenge for our listeners.
Ooh, a challenge. I love challenges.
Think about all the amazing things that we've learned about measuring length, weight, volume, temperature, and time.
Got it.
Now, I want you to go on a measuring mission.
Measuring.
Grab a ruler,
Yeah.
a measuring tape, or even a kitchen scale,
Mhm.
and see what interesting things you can measure
I like it.
around your house or even outside.
That's a fantastic idea. You could measure the length of your pet's tail,
Yes.
the weight of your favorite book,
Uh-huh.
or even the temperature of a sunny windowsill.
Exactly. Let your curiosity guide you. And don't forget to share your measuring discoveries with us.
Yeah.
We can't wait to hear about all the amazing things you find.
Until next time, keep measuring and keep exploring.
And remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be measured. Happy measuring.
Thank